Different? Yeah, yeah. Yes, it's very nice. Yeah, you can sit outside and have lunch outside. Yeah. Okay. Board of Education at large. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna hold this here for a minute. Okay, that is what it looks like for Board of Education. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion on this ballot. Is there a second? Okay, moved by Margie, seconded by Daniel. Any further discussion? Okay, Tina, Diane, Alex, Margie, Daniel, and I vote aye. It is unanimous. Okay. I just want to take a peek at the rest of the ballot. Give me a minute here. Okay, here's what the ballot looks like for the U.S. Senator, Republican primary. Actually, I should have pulled it over. This also seems to have a little bit of daylight in it. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's one. Um, yeah, I don't think it's on your way yet, right? Okay, we're trying to mix up the directions of these ballots. I'd rather we all talk. Kevin, how many more after this one? Just one? Okay. If no one's ready to make a motion, I'll make a motion. I'm going to be counted as a vote for Larry Hogan. My thinking is that the vote for Mr. Ficker is kind of a bunch of squiggles. There's also an apparent attempt to either white it out or smear it out, and a little bit of a hole in, whereas the Larry Hogan circle is very similar to the other circles on that. So to me, this is a vote for Larry Hogan. It, okay. You can vote down my motion and you can move something else, or I think it's a. Did you second it? Oh, I seconded it. That's right. Yes. No. Right. You can either a new motion or an amendment, and yes, you can abstain if you want, but that's up to you. You know, you, everyone can vote however okay. Everyone can vote however you want to vote. Um, I personally think that the combination of things is pretty clear. I'm not sure exactly what the voter has attempted to do there in terms of the erasing, but it does look like there's some attempt to do that. And like I said, the markings are not nearly as clear. The Larry Hogan marking is. So anyway, any further discussion anyone would like to make? The motion is to count it as a vote for Larry Hogan. And it's already seconded by Ami. I moved that it be counted as a vote for Larry Hogan, and Ami seconded it. So we are now discussing that question, and if you want to, I mean, feel free, we've all been listening to each other. Feel free to, if you think otherwise, to say so. But I'm not sure how you read that into the Senate race, right? But I will say that for all the votes for delegate are clearer than whatever this person did for the sticker.
The oval's completely full in.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. What do you think? Look at the light. What do you see? You see a hole there. There's a hole in this ballot. Well, no, still next to it, but there's a hole in the ballot.
What is the hole?
Look exactly enough. No, I have to. Okay. I think the circuit court judges are as clear as can be. And this is, to me, this is in the same category as, one is marked enthusiastically, like the person with the check mark, and one is clearly not. And I think there's an almost certain attempt at erasure there. So that's the way I look at it. Like I said, everyone should vote whatever they're comfortable. Perhaps needless to say, I'm talking about what I think the ballot says, not how I would, if I were to ever vote in a Republican primary, which is really hard to imagine. Really hard to imagine. Okay. Aside from that, does anyone have anything they'd like to say about this? Well, yes, I was gonna say if it wasn't somewhat unclear, it wouldn't be before us.
But it has to be clear.
We have to be able to say that we're comfortable knowing what we think the voter intent is. That's what the motion is. When we say we're gonna vote for it, we are determining what we think that the voter intent can be determined. That's completely up to you. The motion is counted as a vote for Larry Hogan. I would point out that if this motion should fail, we have the opportunity to have other motions as to how we dispose of this ballot. So we do have to decide how to dispose of this ballot. In other words, this is not the last motion if it doesn't pass. Okay, everyone understands that. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. Margie, Dave, Army, okay, Alex, okay, Diane, and I vote aye. So by a vote of 5-2, we have our first divided vote of this year's canvas, and this will and it won't be the last. This will be counted as a vote for Larry Hogan. You said good. You said good, but you know. Okay. Okay. Well, last one for the day. Hmm. That is interesting. Okay. Let me put this one on the screen. The delegate to the Republican National Action District vote for we'll start down here. Okay. Is there a motion? Okay. You move. Okay, is there a second? Okay, moved by Keno, seconded by Ami. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Keno, Diane, Alex.
Aye.
Aye. Ami, aye, and I vote aye. Okay, we are done for our referrals for today. Thank you, everybody, for your participation and for being here today. If you don't mind, so that everyone can hear, although we only have one observer. I was going to say that we are not meeting in Kansas on Monday and Tuesday. Our next scheduled Kansas on the schedule now, we're scheduled on Friday and Saturday. That will only happen on both days if we have enough ballots by about Wednesday to know that we need 2 days. If we only need one day, that day will be Saturday, as opposed to Friday. The thinking being that it's more convenient for all of us and, et cetera, perhaps for the world, to do it on Saturday. If we do need something,
David,
and you should know by Wednesday.
would it be considered enough ballots to have a count?
That's a board question or maybe a Kevin question. But I think it's basically, do you have enough to fill more than a full day?
Okay.
And if you only have enough to fill one full day, no sense in having two.
Okay.
And Saturday gives you the benefit of more income.
Correct. Saturday gives you benefit of more income, and it also, like I said, we have our best attendance among board members on Saturday as well, which is really understandable. People have other obligations, during the week, et cetera. And want to save all of you your annual leave to the extent that I can.
Absolutely not. We love this space.
Well, I understand that you may prefer living here. In my office, it's kind of a joke. Like, where's David going on vacation? He's going to Canada.
He's coming here.
Yeah. But yeah. Germantown is my vacation location of choice.
Why not?
But the idea would be that we would know, roughly, middle of next week, we'll get a sense as to how things are coming in. I don't think anyone should read into that the idea that we're going to have less after election day. We're going to find out when it gets closer to election day how much will happen after election day. But it's certainly a possibility. Well, maybe depends on what the overall turnout is, because remember that both presidential races are pretty much done. And if you look at other states, they've had low turnout. So it could very well be that we will also have low turnout. We don't really know whether the impact of the other races that need to be determined, how that will affect turnout, how much. So obviously we need as long as there's balance. So,
The reality is, quite frankly, if you can go from 10 to 6 on Saturday, 11 won't work on Friday. It's going to be my recommendation because they're going to be days after the election.
We don't have
We're
that
definitely
choice.
going to be here.
Right. Where we won't have that choice. Right. Right. And I'll say that obviously I'm trying to help all of us with our schedule, all 7-7, because I realize that each of us has different schedules. Yeah, okay.